My name is Alex Galvez. I'm coming from Guatemala. You know, Guatemala is right below Mexico. You know, I'm one of the founders of Transitions Foundation. We started it in 1996. Uh, why we started it? Because there was a great need of people with disabilities in Guatemala in need of wheelchairs and better mobility. I was able to come to the United States in 1994 to get all my rehab. I was in BC. I got full package, I call it. And then once I was ready, independent, I just wanted to go back to Guatemala. I didn't want to stay here because I learned a lot from that experience in DC, and I just wanted to take it to Guatemala. I was always wondering why you have everything here, and in Guatemala we have nothing. And I spoke to my dad. He's an American person, lives in Rhode Island, and I said I want to go back to Guatemala. And he was, "Are you crazy? Why would you go back to Guatemala? There's nothing for you there." And I said, "Well, I think there's people there." So I went back to Guatemala. A stubborn guy. I went back to Guatemala, and we started to help people in Guatemala. We founded an association in Antigua, Guatemala. We started to help people that had the same problems I had. I was shot, with a gunshot at the age of 14 years old. That's the reason why I'm in a wheelchair. And there was a lot of people that had the same problems. So I said, well, let's start helping people. And we call the people in DC and say, can you help us? And they say, well, we can send you wound dressing, we can send you youth wheelchairs. So I used to go back and forth from DC in the airplane, taking like 6, 7 wheelchairs back to Guatemala to help some more people. Until we found this really good friend from Portland, Oregon. And she said, why don't you go back to San Francisco State University and learn how to build chairs for the third world? So two of us flew back to San Francisco State University and learned how to build chairs for the third world. And we went back to Guatemala and we opened up a shop. That's what we're doing right now. That's been 28 years now. And at the beginning, we thought, we're just gonna do it for 5 years, and then I'm gonna do something different. It's been 30 years for me, but it's been a great bless for me. I have my 9-year-old boy now, Santi, my wife, and I cannot complain. Every day I see people getting their wheelchairs, people that have been kind of locked down in their homes, and they're able to go out. We have what we call mobile clinics, where we get some of your chairs you donate to us, and we take it to the villages, and we found people there that don't have any access to mobility. So sometimes we have to travel like 10 hours. We take 2 trucks, and we go, 5 of us, and we go. We've been working with a lot of the municipalities there because they're the ones who identify the people in their communities. Because for us, it's difficult. And you gotta remember that people in Guatemala, we have a lot of indigenous people, and it's very difficult to get into their community. So we gotta work with what we call COCODES, which is part of the municipality, and they hook us up with the people that really need the help. Um, that's one of the reasons I wanted to come here today, because we've been receiving a lot of goodies from you. I don't know, I think it's been 15 years now. We have a prosthetics and orthotics shop where we manufacture the prosthetics legs. So we receive a lot of the components from Hands of Hope. I think it's been 15 years now. So I just wanted to say thank you for what you're doing. I think you are doing an incredible work for us. Every time we get a container and everything is well packed with the label, we think, well, somebody has been working very hard with their efforts to make this happen for the people in Guatemala. So I want to show with you a few pictures, and small pictures, because I have a small computer, for you to see, who are the people getting, the wheelchairs, the walkers, the crutches, the hospital equipment. Sometimes we share with hospitals. And what we do now is that's something we learned from Rotary International, who has been helping us a lot. And they say every time somebody request for something, they should participate in the process. So we do ask them for a small collaboration so we can continue with our mission because we receive no support from the government. So it's only us. I do a lot of the travel, you know, trying to find, money to keep with the mission. So I'm gonna show you my team, who's working on the project, and then I'm gonna show you the people that get benefit out of the project. So let me see, show this real quick, and then I'm gonna turn it so you can see it. So we're in Guatemala, we call it Asociación Transiciones, but it's Transitions Foundation of Guatemala. And let me see, how do I play this in here? Slideshow maybe, yeah, right there. So as I said, we're below Mexico. You know where it's located. This is the type of community we're serving right now. I don't know if you can see it. And as we say in this presentation, 2/3 of the Guatemalans who need a wheelchair don't have one. So that's very difficult, and it's an average of income less than 400 a month. People cannot afford to buy a wheelchair. The main reason of needing a wheelchair in Guatemala, many people have cerebral palsy, uh, many of the adults because of gunshots, because of car accidents, and nowadays a lot of the motorcycle accidents. We get a lot of people requesting prosthetics because they have lost one of their limbs because of motorcycle accidents. One of the good things about the work that we do in Guatemala is that most of the guys that work in our shop are people that have a disability, so they know best, how to build a wheelchair or how to repair a wheelchair. These are the different models that we're manufacturing right now, because we also give reformer wheelchairs, but we also customize the wheelchairs for people. This is a chair that we built in our shop with the hands of people with disabilities. This is our team. This is our factory. Some people are asking why we're buying this huge oven. Why are we buying, this other welder? Because we've been getting, some orders from El Salvador, the country next to us. They wanted to purchase wheelchairs from us. So now we're thinking a way of sustain the organization is to manufacture chairs and sell them, and some of that money will go to the ones that are unable to pay, and sustain the project. So we're not just asking people for money, but we're also finding ways so we can generate our own revenues, because we cannot live always, from asking people around. I mean, I have a family, now, and I know that I cannot live just by asking people for money, for begging. We're not gonna do that. We want to participate on the process. We have some of Rotarian people involved. We've been getting some grants from Rotary International. We got some from the downtown Portland, Oregon, and we've been getting training from the World Health Organization on provision of wheelchairs, because you have to have a certification to be able to provide a wheelchair in Guatemala now. So we have the certification now. This is a good example of how we find people sometimes, and it's incredible. It just touches your heart. Have some people that have been laying, on the floor, and then they are sitting in a wheelchair, and just to have this change from being in a horizontal, to a vertical. They're sitting and they can see. They can go and sit on the table, eat with their families, and we have witnessed that. It's incredible. Every month I will say that I see, or I know a new story of a person that really touches my heart, even though I've been working 20 some years, and I'm like, man, I don't believe that. But we're making that change. Prosthetics and orthotics. Can you see this little girl in the center? Miriam. I'm sure Miriam got some of the components that you sent us. She came to us when she was 9 years old. She's 17 years old now. and she's being a volunteer in our prosthetics clinic now. So I'm starting to see the new generation of people with disabilities participating in an organization because I'm getting older. We need to get new blood, new energy, and they will be the ones running the mission in the future. That's what I hope. Sports and recreation. It's a very good way to break many boundaries in our country because people are not used to see people participating in sports. You know, we're always locked down in our house. So we have a basketball team, and we train the kids that come to us to get wheelchairs. And some of the kids that come to us, they have never even touched a basketball. It's amazing. Yep. Um, this is another great kid. We provide a chair, and when we sat him up, we sat him in a chair. He started to tease his brother around. That was incredible for me. Oh, that's it. Right. I don't know if you can see him over there. He's with his family, and usually you see the little kid with the disability, you know, shy. He's like not even looking at people, but he was so happy. He was teasing his brother, and his brother was shy. It was like, whoa, you know, what a big difference. Um, and I'm gonna end saying how important is the work that you're doing here, and how important is the work that we're doing there. And when you match that, you really make this magic on people. And it's just providing a service that we will dignify the family and the people. uh, I was blessed by people like you, by American people that give me opportunity, that brought me to the United States. And see, 20 some years ago later, I'm here talking to you. I drove this truck, you know, from Portland, Oregon. I went to Los Angeles to pick up some more wheelchairs. I'm able to travel. I'm able to bring all this support to people because you were there, because you believe that people with disabilities can make it, that can participate. And that's what I'm doing. And we're doing this for other people. You will do your work here, and you never know who's going to get it. But I'll tell you, people know that Americans are helping them because you did it for me. It's a big difference. I'm so proud of the country that you have. I'm so proud of the Americans because that's one of the reasons I'm alive. Yeah. So thank you very much, Hanso Hope, for what you're doing. I know you come here, you leave, things at home. You say, I'm gonna go and volunteer there. I'm gonna send some stuff to some people. This is one of the people here. See? Thank you so much. Any questions?
How long does it take to get a container? How
About
many months?
between 6 and 7 weeks. It's not that much.
No.
6 weeks, yeah. And so with the containers, in the past we used to work with the government, trying to avoid the custom fees, but we've been having issues in our country. So now what we do is we pay the custom fees. We pay about $2,000 sometimes to get the container out of port. So that's why we ask people for a collaboration when they receive some of our services, so we can pay that. Yeah. In the past, we used to work with Rotary in Guatemala, but they took so long, so we had to pay like warehousing, and didn't really work for us. It was a lot of money, yeah, to get it out of port. Any other question?
Is there, I'm sorry. Is there anything that you wish you got from us in addition to what we are already used to sending you?
No, well, Todd does a really good job. He sent us this packing list. We pick up, in the past we used to say, oh, we need whatever you have. Now we choose. We say we want mobility devices because that's our mission. Mobility devices. We use hospital equipment sometimes that we share with hospitals in different communities. But you're doing great. Yeah. We try not to get clothing because Americans are tall. I wouldn't say big. And we're tiny and small. Sometimes we ended up, with this big. So we try not to do that much, but tell ask us, we do like diapers. People that come to us, they're always using diapers. So
We got plenty of
those
those.
are good, help to us. And whatever mobility device you might think, crutches, walkers, I don't know, wheelchairs, we need wheelchairs, parts, prosthetics, equipment, whatever. Yeah. You had a question too.
Special needs wheelchairs.
Any other question?
No, that answered mine. What he was doing.
Yeah. All
Thank
right.
you for what you do.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Although I'm getting older. I noticed it this morning. I was like, oh man, because we drove 7.5 hours. And this morning I was like, oh, we gotta go. I'm like,
But it is good to know where our stuff is going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our stuff is going.
that's one of the reasons I wanted to come here. My colleagues in Guatemala were like, what are you gonna do that for? I was like, well, it's been almost 15 years. I wanna go and thank them. And they're like, oh, but they're gonna send you the container anyway. Yeah, but they gotta see faces. They gotta see, who's that, and who's managing it, And I don't know. I know it's been a very tiring trip for me, but it's worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Good people. I'm with good people around.
Good.
Why not? Yeah. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.